with the Circle Circle Arts co-founder and piano faculty to take the floor now. Stephanie.
Hi.
We have to leave early. I just want you to know because we have an appointment with the doctor.
Oh, thank you,
Okay.
Leslie. Appreciate it. I'm going to mute everyone at this time, okay? Thank you.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction, Shannon. We're so happy to have this opportunity again to share music with all of you. I hope you all had a great month since our last virtual concert. I'm Stephanie. I'm the co-founder and teaching artist of Circle Circle Arts. If you didn't know already, Circle Circle Arts is a music school and community located in New York. We connect the world's finest emerging musicians with students of all ages and levels. If you or you know of anyone that might be interested, please feel free to learn more about us from the program today and feel free to reach out, please. So I will be the first performer to begin the concert today. The first piece I'll be sharing is Scriabin's album Leaf, Opus 58. Just a little bit about Scriabin. He was one of the most, I would say, prolific Russian composers and pianists of his time. His early musical language consisted of a romantic and lyrical style, which was heavily influenced by Chopin. We could perhaps call it's his first stage of compositional output, and which was characterized with a high tonal idiom. But in his later career, Scriabin developed an atonal and dissonant style of writing, which is separate from Schönberg's atonal musical system, and it really influenced many Russian composers, such as Prokofiev and Stravinsky. The background info or year of the piece that I'm sharing today is nowhere to be found, unfortunately. But based on the opus number, the piece was probably written around 1910. And during this period, Scriabin's music becomes more chromatic and dissonant, yet still mostly adhering to traditional functional tonality. And as dominant chords are more and more extended, they gradually lose their tensive function. So Scriabin wanted his music to have a radiant, shining feeling to it, and he achieved it by raising the number of chord tones. So during this time, complex forms like the mystic chord are often hinted in his music, but they still show their roots in Chopinistic harmony. Sorry, long talk. Second piece I'll be sharing today is a movement from In the Mist by Janáček. Janáček was a Czech composer during mid-19th to early 20th century, and he's now actually considered as one of the most important Czech composers, musical theorist, and folklorist. He was inspired by Moravian and other, I guess, Slavic folk music to create his own original and modern musical style. And In the Mist is actually the last of Janáček's more substantial solo works for the piano. The cycle was composed in 1912, and some years after Janáček had suffered from the death of his daughter. And also during that time, his operas were not being accepted or being rejected by the Prague opera houses. And so all four parts of the cycle are largely written in misty keys with 5 or 6 flats. And one of the main characteristics of the cycle is that it has this frequent changes of meter. And I will only be playing the third movement from the cycle. And the last piece I'll be sharing today is the Gnossienne No. 1 by Erik Satie. I'm sure a lot of you already know who he is. Erik Satie was a French composer and pianist. He was an influential artist in the late 19th and early 20th century, or even late 20th century. His work was a precursor to later artistic movements such as minimalism and the theater of absurd. The piece was written in late 19th century. It is for the most part in free time, which means lacking time signatures or bar divisions. And so at the time, it's actually highly experimental with form, rhythm, and chordal structure. And the form as well as the term was actually invented by Satie himself. And I hope you'll enjoy the pieces.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for such a lovely selection of pieces. Yes, applause, applause. So my name is Issei Herr, and I am a co-founder of Circle Circle Arts, and it's such a pleasure to be back here today, sharing this wonderful music with the DOROT community. So I'm joining everybody from New York City, where it's currently quite rainy. And this is, yeah, some lovely music for a rainy afternoon. Next, we'll be hearing from one of our students, Stephanie's piano student, Tony. So I'd like to invite him to introduce his piece.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tony Fu. I've been studying with Stephanie for about 6 months now after not playing any classical music since I was a kid. The piece I'm playing today is Invention number 1 in C major by Johann Sebastian Bach. I think there's lots of things to say about Bach, but I guess I'll just say that he's one of the most important composers in the Baroque era, and this particular piece was written in 1720, first as a series of music for his eldest son, and then later made into a series of inventions in different keys as exercises for musical students. So this particular piece is a contrapuntal piece. It has a motif that is explored in both hands.
Great, thank you so much, Tony, for sharing. Wonderful to hear some Bach. So next, I will be sharing a work for solo cello by Kaija Saariaho. Saariaho is a living composer, one of the major composers of our time. She is originally from Finland, but she makes her home in Paris. And some of you may know of her recent work, which was performed at the Metropolitan Opera House, I think in 2016, her opera L'Amour de Loin. And this piece today is titled 7 Papillons, 7 portraits of butterflies, and I'll be playing 3 movements from this work. So Saariaho's music is so gorgeous, makes use of quite a small range of harmonic materials, but she draws incredible textures and colors from the cello. And before I play this piece, I just wanted to share a thought that was offered to me by one of my friends upon hearing this piece. He actually shared a quote with me by a poet that he was reading at the time, not quite sure who it was, but the quote was, "Every time a butterfly flaps its wings, on the other side of the globe, we hear the crash of thunder." So I hope that will carry you through these 3 movements of Saariaho's butterflies. Thank you all so much for listening. So next, we will be hearing from one of our very talented young vocal arts students. This is Petra J. Unfortunately, she's not able to join us this afternoon for the live stream as she's in school. She's a 7th grader at St. Anne's School in Brooklyn. Petra is actually, in addition to being a very talented singer, she's also a cellist. She's actually one of my private cello students, and she's studying with our wonderful teaching artist, Amber Evans, at Circle Circle Arts. And so Petra will be singing today a work by Laura Shigihara. The piece is called Everything's All Right. Hope you enjoy. Apologies.
everything is alright. Chin up, I can't step into the spotlight. She said, I'm sad, somehow without any words. I just stood there, searching for an answer. When this world is no more, alone as I see, I'll ask you to fly away with me until the stars all fall down, they empty from the sky. I don't mind if you're with me and everything's alright. Why do my words always lose their meaning? When I feel what I say, there's such a rift between them. He said, I can't really seem to read you. I just stood there, never know what I should do. When this world is no more, alone as I see, I'll ask you to fly away with me until the stars all fall down, they empty from the sky. I don't mind if you're with me and everything's alright. If you're with me and everything's alright.
Okay, brava, Petra. So wonderful to hear one of our very talented students. I invite all of you to learn more about all of our performers today at the programs that were all emailed to you. Have a little bit of information about each performer in the program. So now we'll turn it over to our very, very talented composing, piano, music theory faculty member, Will Healy.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Yes? Cool. So like Issei mentioned, I am a composer as well as a pianist. And so I'm going to play first two pieces that I wrote. They are they're titled Etudes for Melancholy Robots. So I have numbers 1 and 2. It's actually a set of 3 pieces. Maybe many of you have heard of an etude before. An etude is a technical study. So were very popular, especially in the 19th century. Chopin wrote many etudes. This is a popular one. You know, you've probably heard many Chopin etudes, and over the next centuries, many people have taken the concept of an etude, or a technical study, and built on that idea and taken it in more kind of expressive directions and narrative structural directions than just a technical study. So I've been thinking a lot lately, as many of us have been, about the sort of blurring line between humans and technology. In my lifetime, I've seen, phones and vacuums and cars become more and more human, and they're almost being given sort of emotions and personalities in the way that we interact with them. And even an interface like Zoom, we're starting to feel like there's this real human connection, which I really love, that is being given to us by something like Zoom. So I decided to sort of reflect on that with a couple of pieces. So they have kind of mechanical gestures and sounds, but they also have kind of human elements to them. So the first one is called Washer Dryer. And here I go. I'm going to switch microphones.
Will, can you hear me? Sorry, I think that's actually a thumbs down. Can we try one more time? We couldn't hear the piano.
Take two. First one. The second one is called Roomba. My mics are over here. The second one is called Roomba. I'm going to play one more thing for you. Can you all hear me okay? Okay. So this next piece is actually written by Bach. We heard some Bach earlier on the program. And this piece has an interesting backstory. It's sort of been a game of telephone with this original hymn. This hymn is called Wachet auf, which translates to Sleepers Awake. And it's a German hymn by a man named Philipp Nicolai, written in 1599. And Bach, when he was music director at Thomas Kirche, my German is terrible, took this original hymn, which you've probably heard. The hymn goes like this. Probably recognize that. He took that and he turned it into the basis for one of the movements of his cantata. So he took that melody and he added this on top. So then, 300 years later, I took that melody and I added this beneath it. And I added my own accompaniment. And so this long 500-year game of telephone ends with this piece for now.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I will perform.
Hello. Good afternoon. We want to join your concert. Is that okay? Yeah? Is that okay? We are two girls here, and we'd like to know what you're going to play, what instrument. What do you play?
Pauline, we're going to
What do you
carry
play?
on.
Violin? What do you play? No?
Pauline, we're going to carry on with our program now. Issei is going to kick us off with the next selection, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we have one more performer today on the program, and then we'll have some time for question answer after he performs. So I'm delighted to introduce our incredible guitar faculty member, Jordan Dodson.
Hey everyone, so thank you for having me. I'm going to play a total of 4 pieces, and the first 3 are actually a set. So these are by the Italian guitarist and composer Luigi Legnani. And Legnani was one of the most famous guitarists in Italy in the mid-1800s. And his real claim to fame was that he was the guitar player with Niccolo Paganini, the very famous violin player. So they would tour all over Europe together playing guitar and violin duets. And they were said to have had this larger-than-life personality. They were kind of greeted as rock stars in all of their concerts, so you can envision screaming fans and maybe women chasing the 2 instrumentalists, who knows. And especially Paganini, you know, there was this rumor that he traded his soul to the devil for superhuman violin skills. And he would play it up quite a bit. He would show up to all of these concerts in black carriages drawn by 2 black horses. He's wearing all black. And it was kind of silly, but you know, you wouldn't really want to disprove those rumors because you can't really buy that kind of press. So they just went with it. And Luigi Legnani was very much in this sort of, you know, mindset, this kind of personality. So he wrote 36 Caprices, which goes a little bit along with what Will was saying about Etudes. So they're called Caprices, but they're really Etudes for students to develop their technical abilities. And a lot of composers will write Etudes in sets of 24 because you go through all the major and the minor keys, 1 Etude for each key. But Legnani just kept going, and he churned out 36 of these. So he did a couple of keys 2 or 3 times. And I just learned these pieces, so it's going to be fun for me to play them. You are the first audience I've played these Caprices for. So these were 3 of my favorites. This is C minor, G major, and B minor. This mic is in the way. Okay.
this time of this whole self-isolation episode that we're all experiencing together, I used it to learn a lot of new music. Those 3 pieces and a bunch more, including this next one that I'm going to play, this last piece of the program. This is one of my favorite pieces to play now. So it's a jazz piece by the great jazz trumpet player and composer Dizzy Gillespie. It's called A Night in Tunisia, and I mean, that's, you know, the main thing here is the arrangement for me, because it was arranged by a Tunisian guitar player named Roland Dyens, and he was definitely one of my favorite guitar players. He wrote a lot of classical guitar music, but it's all inspired by jazz music, Latin music, especially Brazilian Latin music. It's inspired by other forms like funk and rock music and the blues. And he puts it all together in a really interesting and convincing way. You know, we can all think of composers who try to add elements of the blues or something else, and it doesn't quite work. But the way Dyens does it is so masterful. And this arrangement, it always kind of makes me laugh, because when you arrange a piece for the classical guitar, you tend to go for pieces that sound like they could be guitaristic. That's the word we use, guitaristic. So if you hear like maybe a gentle piano piece and it's in the key of G or something, you think, oh yeah, that could work on the guitar. But when you listen to A Night in Tunisia by Dizzy Gillespie, it just has this blaring brass and just really intense, epic drumming. And it doesn't sound guitaristic at all. I don't know what convinced Dyens that this would be a good project, but he finds a lot of interesting solutions to some of these problems. They'd be problems to other guitar players, but and so one of his solutions is he reproduces a lot of the drum part on the guitar, on the body of the guitar, and so you have to learn to juggle doing these drum parts while playing actual notes with your left hand at the same time. So it's very fun to play, and I hope it's fun to listen to. So this is A Night in Tunisia by Dizzy Gillespie, arranged by Roland Dyens. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Jordan. That was such a thrilling performance. What a great arrangement. Thank you all so much for tuning in today for our virtual concert. Want to thank all of our performers today, Tony, Petra, Stephanie, Will, and Jordan. Thank you so much for sharing your talents with all of us this afternoon. So I invite all of you to learn more about Circle Circle Arts and what we do, the classes that we offer at our website, circlecirclearts.com. In addition to the instruments that you heard today, we offer private lessons in a variety of different instruments and musical subjects. We also recently started a new music appreciation series, which is an online group class, which will be happening every month starting in December. Our first class will be led by pianist Daniel Anastasio, who actually joined us at our last concert for DOROT. He will be guiding listeners through harmony, understanding harmony and its application in very much loved works of the classical repertoire. So I invite you to all learn more about that at our website. And yes, thank you so much, Shannon, and all of you for having us today. We'd love to take some questions, I believe, if we have some time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Issei, and all of our musicians. This was awesome. So we have a comment from Gail in the chat. For those of you who are still here, if you would like, we have an intimate audience. So if you want to unmute yourself to ask a question or share a comment or reaction, please do. Gail mentioned, while you're thinking about what you want to say, astonishing, outstanding performances, just brilliant. I loved it. Thank you so much. And Florence shared wonderful. Thank you. I see a few of you are here. Janice and Gloria, you have your cameras, and Emmy's all here with their cameras on. I know some of you are in our music classes. Uh-oh, can't unmute. Let's see. Try now, Gloria. There you go. I can't hear anything. I see you though. Okay, it's not. Gloria, try one more time. You're unmuted. Yeah, seems like the microphone's not working. Oh no. Well, maybe go ahead, use the chat and I'll share your comment. It usually works. I'm not sure what happened. Anne, would you like to, any questions, comments?
Finish with the concert. We are a little late, me and my friend here. Or you're going to go on for a little longer.
Thank you, Colleen. We are actually finished up with the concert. Do you have a question or a comment before you go?
Yeah, if we would go, but right now we're home and we wanted to listen. Do you know Rochelle? She's with the DOROT.
Yes,
DOROT?
I do know.
She works in DOROT. You know where that is?
Yes, I work at DOROT. I know Rochelle.
And her name is Rochelle Friedrich, and she's my daughter.
Oh, well, lovely.
She told me I should put it on at a certain time, but we are a little late. We had something else to do. So we listened to the young man. Are you all finished with your program or you go on?
We're all finished with the program for today, Pauline. Thank you for being here.
For today, finished. Finished for today. Okay. What is your next, when is your next concert?
A great question.
The young man here.
We are.
How often do you play? Once a week? No.
Issei, would you like to respond?
So our next, we'll be returning to DOROT in December for a date to be confirmed. We're really looking forward.
Oh, in December? Not before.
In December, however, we all have very active performing schedules. We'd love to get in touch and share,
I'm gonna ask my daughter. She works in DOROT, the organization. She works there.
We'll make sure to keep it posted, Pauline.
Are you know Rochelle? No?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do, Rochelle. I'm her mother. And she told me definitely. Nice meeting you. What is your name, dear? Again, I have to tell her that I spoke to you.
My name is Shannon. Thank you for joining us.
Sarah. Oh, that's a beautiful name. Sarah.
Thank you, Pauline.
Yeah.
But Pauline, let's hear from Gloria has a question we'd like to respond to. One moment, okay? So Gloria put in the chat, since her microphone wasn't working, she said, I enjoyed every aspect of the concert. I feel so inspired. Is the classical guitar instrument different from a regular guitar? And Jordan responded in the chat, but Jordan, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know what we were doing. It's a good question. I actually get that question all the time. They have the same number of strings between the classical and the normal guitar, but we just use nylon strings. And if you see most guitar players in a band or playing jazz or folk music, it's usually steel strings. So the string material is the main difference.
Thank you. Beautiful performance today, everyone. Well, if there's no more questions, oh, I see Anne unmuted. Anne, Otto?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I enjoyed the creations of you young people a great deal. Yeah. It keeps me optimistic during these difficult times. Thanks a lot.
Hi. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can?
We can.
Yes? Okay. I just wanted to say, I have a family member who studied piano years ago and is very talented and left piano because of whatever, school, I guess, and was going into improvisational jazz. And he was such a natural. And I feel like I want to convey this to him to perhaps, you know, not let go of those talents that are inside of him that are just latent because of what, you know, what society puts upon you, you know. All of you were so inspiring, and your passion for it came through so strongly that, you know, I've always wanted to learn an instrument. As a child, I couldn't. There's no reason for me not to try now. I have a guitar that was my husband's guitar, that's the Guild, that's sitting on a shelf for years, and I'm sure that I better open it up because it's probably deteriorating, the strings. I have a piano sitting in a room that I have tuned, and I haven't applied anything in that direction. I'm a dreamer when it comes to music, when it comes to actually learning. Anyway, I don't know. I got off on a tangent, but
I know a good guitar teacher.
And a good piano teacher, and a good cello teacher.
Around.
All of you. Thank you so much. It was really wonderful. Really a treat, a gift. You gave us a gift.
Thank you. And we all believe it's never too early, never too late to start learning music, playing music, appreciating music. Music is a lifelong journey. So, yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you could finally hear me.
Yeah, me too. We need you in the discussion group tomorrow or on Wednesday.
Oh.
So,
okay. Thank you so much.
Time, I think we have to end our program today. So I just wanted to say thank you one more time to Circle Arts and for all of your wonderful, talented skill that you've shown us today. These musicians are awesome. So if you want to unmute yourself, feel free. We can give everyone a round of applause one last time. As our audience is shrinking.
Yay! Woo!
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was a gift.
All right, everyone. Well, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. What a great way to start a Monday. Gosh. Thank you. We'll be in touch. See you guys on the next performance, December 9th. I'll keep you posted on it.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. I think at this time I'm going to end our call. So 3, 2, 1. Take care.